Morning everybody, or hello. I'm Gavin and I'm the British Bookworm. So currently this morning I've been reading for a couple of hours and I'm eager to do another review on another book or a book that I've read from the past. So I went to my bookshelves and I looked at the books and I've realised that to do any book justice I'm going to have to quickly read the book or spend a couple of hours reading it or 20 minutes reviewing the book before I do a book review, because some of them are from a few years back or even longer. The morning I've just had, or I've currently been reading The Lucifer Effect, which I'm halfway through and I'm desperate to do a review on this. It's been, or is, a fantastic read. But I'm going to pick a book today which you don't have to think too much about, because it's a book I've read easily 7 times over the years of owning it. As for a quick review, as a professional person that's not currently in the fitness industry, I am a personal trainer. I have spent 15,000 hours easily studying my field, whether it's been reading, studying documentaries or YouTube or papers or magazines. I've spent easily 15,000 hours personally researching, which works out, for those who question me saying that, it works out about 20 hours, 25 hours a week studying body anatomy, physiology, kinesiology, training techniques, psychology of training. And I've not, it's something that I would not state unless it was a fact. So I've dedicated a gigantic amount of time of myself outside of actually working hours studying personal training. So it's something I take very seriously. I don't consider myself an expert, but I will say to you without questioning my statement that I am somebody to listen to based on a tremendous amount of effort, research and education in the field of training and personal training. And I'm stating that to promote this book, The Complete Guide to Strength Training by Anita Bean. That's my review today. So I've read this at least 7 times over the years, and this is the original, or one of the original. Is it the original? 2nd edition. So this has been, I think it's like on the 7th or 9th edition now. So this is one of the original, and you can't buy this anymore. This particular edition, I don't think you can anyway. You'll probably get it second-hand maybe. So as someone who spent that gigantic amount of time, you're going to always hear me say that on my fitness videos, because why shouldn't I tell you that if you've not seen this video or any of the other videos on personal training? I'm going to always make sure that you, the viewer, knows that I'm a serious person in this subject matter. And I do have strong opinions about things. When I do have strong opinions about things, I can guarantee you I've probably invested quite a substantial amount of time around it. So Anita Bean, to me, as someone who I classify myself, as I keep saying to you, someone very knowledgeable on this field, personal training and fitness. Anita Bean is, as you can imagine, I read it 7 times and really used it with my clients and used her getting stumbling. I'm not doing this video again. Using her training methods and using her thoughts and how she views training. I've used them with clients, I've used them myself, and I've got to say I feel Anita Bean is a fantastic trainer. I think she's a quality pedigree trainer. I recommend this book, and I recommend also her nutrition book, which I will also do a review on. And the reason why I like this book is it explains the science and the facts behind the science of training, and it comes at it from a very sensible method or level-headed mindset. I like that fact that women tend to come at personal training or training with less ego and more kind of more from an understanding point of view for other people who are the viewers. Yeah, so like you viewing me now, female trainers tend to have a better ability to empathize with clients and to come across with less ego-driven drivel, where males come at it from much more of a bullshit, male-driven, ego-driven, narcissistic angle, and trainers come at the clients without that understanding, which is a big problem in the fitness industry. So Anita Bean wrote a book which is really good for personal trainers, it's really good for gym enthusiasts, and it's good for people who may be studying more or wanting to learn more of an academic point of view. So she has a bodybuilding background, okay, and her training methods are extremely sound. In this book you will have very safe training techniques and training methods that are really well balanced and come at it from a very empathetic view. So as a book, I'm giving her a 5 out of 5. As a trainer, while I've obviously never met her, I've never really even looked for her on YouTube to see her as a character or person, a persona, but I would feel very confident stating that I think she's pedigree. I would highly recommend her to any new personal trainer in the field if you are wanting some really good books to study. Her nutrition book and the latest edition of this would be an excellent start to embrace and put into your own training methodologies and the way you train your client. So not only does she have a nutrition component in this book, which is very, very easy to understand, and it has questions in it to explain myths about the fitness industry or common myths at the time of writing it. And it has a really succinct way of explaining nutrition, succinct way of explaining different levels of entry into fitness training or bodybuilding. It has a very decent, balanced approach and examples of training programs that fit the modern day fitness gym environment. It has fantastic cardio burning or fat burning examples around heart rate zones. It's a very, very good book. So I won't go into any more in depth because it's not really needed, but I do think that as a book review it would get a 5 out of 5. And if you are somebody who's a novice in the gym, or you are someone considering learning about personal training or more in-depth knowledge about training techniques, and you feel like you need to learn, or you just have an interest, this is a really readable book that's just very nice. It's a very simple, simply read book. It's very easy to read, and it's got a very balanced perspective on it, and it's not driven for females. It's both suitable for male and female. It discusses the difference between cardio training and weight training. It discusses the idea of testosterone enhancement from using legs and leg-based exercises or mass compound movements. It discusses principles of one set programs over multiple set programs in one example. It's an extremely good book. Now, one thing I will say, as someone who has personally spent, as I've already stated, overly stated, an exorbitant amount of time training and learning about people, about training techniques, etc. When it comes to Anita Bean or any of the books that I've studied, or any of the science that I've watched on documentaries and podcasts, I have a very strong opinion about the statements of scientific fact or the physiology of training methods and methodologies. So you'll get science stating certain facts about training times, eating windows, nutrition eating windows, and those type of subjects. But I don't believe that you can ever dictate that this is the best approach, or there's this and this, because there are gigantic amount. There is a gigantic amount of evidence that there are people who are world-class athletes who don't necessarily follow certain strict guidelines and do training totally different to what the scientific community within the science of anatomy, physiology and sports science teach, and are still world champions or class champions. When Linford Christie in the 90s was one of the best sprinters in the world, he would have, I think, 10 eggs a day, and he would say, he laughed at it, the fact that nutritionists, I think, were only saying you could have 2 or 4 a week, and he was having like 8 or 10 every morning. So the point I'm making to you is that, just with that example, is that the fitness industry, while Anita Bean's book is fantastic, I still state every book has the same problem when it's trying to promote science and hard rules of training in a way that explains their argument, and it sounds really good on paper. For example, always have 48 hours rest after a weight session. Well, I don't, but I've used that method for many years. I've encouraged clients to use that method for many years, but based on everything else that I know about training, and based on that we're all different, whether you're on steroids, your natural fitness and physiology and recovery, the depth of your workouts, I wouldn't necessarily abide by that as a fixed rule. Rules have places. Rules do have places within training, and I do think that it's sensible to try the guidelines broadly and see if they really feel good and work for you personally. But if you feel like you can do 3 days of leg days, you know, that aren't necessarily heavy hardcore leg days for building your legs up, and you can, and then you come back to another 3 rounds of leg days, then if that works for you, even though it would be very anonymous, it wouldn't be standard by any means, it would be a very rare exception to the rule. If that worked for you, then why would you listen to people saying that you should only work legs once or twice a week, for example? You know, so while books like Anita Bean's The Complete Guide to Strength Training and any other fitness books dictate certain things, I'm very skeptical about the science, because I think human beings inherently know. I think you inherently know when things work for you or don't, especially after several years of training. And that's why I understand when some trainers have an arrogance that a lot of trainers, a high percentage of trainers, don't read. There are a lot of trainers, and I'm saying this with some cockiness, I've not read 100 hours of books, never mind 15,000 hours of research, but they have a natural, even though in that cockiness and arrogance, which I can't stand, by the way, but they still have a natural understanding after, say, 7, 10, 15 years of training their own body, what's best for them. And so while they haven't invested or studied like I have, I still respect that they understand how their body best works. So that's how I'm going to leave it on the science of that. I think Anita Bean is a fantastic role model for women. I think she really, it's a shame that she's not more famous, that she doesn't get more credit as a female ambassador to fitness, and that is just another example of many that I feel the fitness industry, you know, we don't see Anita Bean. I haven't seen her on TV. I haven't seen her being promoted in the fitness community. I'm sure she's probably got she might even have a YouTube channel. I honestly never even considered looking it up, but she should be and be given a lot of respect in the fitness industry, because her books are extremely good. they are possibly the best books to, possibly some of the best books. The 2 books she has written, I would say, are on the top tier within the fitness industry market of books. So I'm going to leave it at that. I hope that Anita Bean sees this video. As a veteran, seasoned trainer myself, I hope that you get to see this video and are happy that someone's talking about your book. I think it's a shame when people put so much work into a book or the fitness industry, they don't get credit. So Anita Bean, your books are superb. I am extremely happy to have been able to read them and to have found you through wherever I found your books. And I'm going to leave it at that for today. So that's my book review for Anita Bean. Anything else to say? So what are your thoughts on what I've said? Just to change subjects, obviously we have so many YouTubers on the fitness side of things, and in honesty, a lot of them are just bollocks, and the fitness industry doesn't promote the educational element or science element enough, with the caveat of what I've just said earlier. A lot of trainers go by instinct too far to the instinct rather than science. For example, training people with this no pain, no gain is just stupid, because nobody in the real world lives by those commands. Certainly not anymore in the modern times that we're living in now in 2022. While there is a time and place for no pain, no gain, it certainly isn't with a beginner, and it certainly isn't with an overweight person, and it certainly isn't with a person with special problems or fitness requirements. So it's those kind of approaches that are bad for the fitness industry and are bad to promote fitness to people that already are struggling for motivation. And it's those kind of elements that I really frown upon and have disdain for that are in, even now, the current fitness contemporary market. So yeah, what are your thoughts? If you were a fitness professional like myself, would you agree with me? Do you know about Anita Bean? Have you read her book? And what are your book recommendations? Would you give us a few examples below if you get to this book and read it, get to this book review and read and listen. So that's the end of this one, and I will hopefully do another book review soon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.